That may be a big one. Ooh,
how'd you not get hammered?
Here,
Look at this guy. Fall fishing. I love fall fishing. Yeah, good old spot. These are all largemouth. We're going to share with you today an area you don't need to overlook in the fall. I got my man here, Briar Hayslip. Thank you for Briar for being back today on the Fish Coach YouTube channel. It's good to have you back on.
Yes, sir. I'm glad to be back on. Glad to just have a day and get out here and enjoy some nice fall weather and catch some bass.
Yeah, so Briar guys got to be with me on one of my biggest videos on the channel. He's been on a few videos. We've had some fun. We've done the no live scope and live scope challenge, but today, fall fishing. And here we are. We just caught a bunch of fish in the first 40 minutes.
Yes, sir.
And one thing about it, guys, is we're here today at Lake Ouachita, beautiful Lake Ouachita. When you hear about fishing in the fall, you hear about fishing backs of creeks. Don't you always hear about fishing in the backs of creeks?
Everybody says all the shad go to the back, follow the shad, which, you know, it's not a secret. If there's bait, there's normally fish, but I think a lot of people overlook fishing on the main lake, still fishing offshore. You know, not all of those fish are going to congregate back there and just pack their lives up and move. So
yeah, and that's what today. So today, guys, we caught a fish on the main lake, and one of the things we already knew this was kind of a deal, and we wanted to help you guys out with it on don't overlook this area. But Briar was the one that actually sent me a text last night. He said, "Hey, have you looked at the Deep Dive app?" And I was like, "Man, I've not. I normally look at it in the morning." Well, he was kind of getting his mind ready and his mind right, and the Deep Dive app pointed out the front part of creeks close to the main lake, and we started going back and forth. I'll let Briar kind of think about it. It's a late fall. You know, we're here November. It's kind of been warm. I mean, today I'm going to have to take this off and probably go shirtless because it'll get warm again. I'm just kidding. But still, like, why do you think, I mean, I say with the main lake, do these fish just, you think, stay here all year, or are there fish moving in and out? Just kind of talk about the main lake.
I think that a lot of fish stay. You know, I do think that there's fish that move in and out, and I don't think that that's a secret, but I've always been a firm believer in my life, where we're at. You know, we're located in central Arkansas. I don't think it gets hot enough or cold enough, nor does the weather ever stay steady enough to keep fish from strictly staying shallow or strictly going deep. And I think that there's fish that live out here year round. And I think that there's fish that live up there on the bank year round.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely think that, you know, fishing out here is very overlooked this time of year, and you can catch a lot of fish out here and have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's what we just had a lot of fun, guys. Today, we're not on maybe the winning pattern for today. Today, it's right now, it's kind of post front, it's no wind. One thing I was going to share with you guys is just talking about the no wind, because that's what I was just thinking about looking out here on the lake. There's no wind. Deep Dive app has a new wind effects feature. It's been out, but now we've added to it. It shows you the wind on the lake, and it shows you the calm areas. It's pretty cool, and that's why I'm looking now at the lake and trying to think that, like, we're on a pattern to catch a lot of fish. It might not win. It could win maybe today, though. But we're trying to help you catch fish. Who doesn't love catching fish?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the ultimate goal. And just to kind of tie something into the Deep Dive app, you know, I'm not sponsored by anybody. I don't get paid. But, you know, like, guys, Jimmy's on the water, what, 3 to 4 days a week?
A lot.
Most weeks.
Yes, 3 to 4 days.
And that's year round. And, you know, even the Deep Dive app helps him. But me personally, I'm on the water, if I'm lucky, maybe 3 times, maybe 4 times a month. Recently, it's been 2 times a month, and the Deep Dive app has helped me tremendously. I mean, we live in Arkansas, and I fished a random tournament in Alabama on Smith Lake 2 weeks ago with no history, and the Deep Dive app helped me do everything I did. Ended up getting 5th place, so it's definitely something that I think that you need to look into, you know, if you do want to come out here and catch fish and have a little bit of aid and not be the guy that texts a million people asking for spots, patterns, lures. The app has everything that you need to know about what you need to do.
Awesome. Yeah, how about that, guys? He went and got a 5th place finish at like 30 boats at Smith Lake.
Yeah, I think there was
never
41
fished it.
or 42. And
hadn't fished it this year.
Yeah, I've been on it one time a year and a half ago for about 4 hours.
Yeah.
So,
guys, let's talk about baits real quick before we get into the footage. We're going to get out in the footage and show you. And we're talking, today we caught these fish off of points and drops, kind of drops. You like to fish drops. Our cover was timber. There was bait present, but not a lot. But let's talk about baits. I'll have Briar talk about this guy, he's really big, and he actually has his up there. This was mine. I've not even picked mine up because I'm going to let him throw it. But I was throwing the minnow. Okay, guys, you know I'm throwing a little jig head minnow, 1/4 ounce head, Strike King Babies E2. I threw a couple ones, and they were wanting this right now. So it might be a day where they want the smaller one. Throwing on the level, this is the 610, but I like the 7.1 medium light, okay? This is the 610 extra light. I love the 7.1. Now, my man, Brian, you talk about that Alabama rig just a little bit. You kind of share a little bit of thoughts on that Alabama rig.
One thing I think a lot of people overlook with this bait is people wait till it gets cold. It gets cold, it stays cold. I'm talking water below 60, then they start picking this bait up. I think if you have spent some hours behind this bait and thrown it, you know that that's not always the case. Right now it's a great tool. You know, I think when you get those first couple of cool nights and fish start schooling up and fish start eating shad, I think that this bait's a really hard bait to beat personally. Some days they won't touch it, you know, and, you know, like he's talking about the minnow, it's kind of a 1-2 punch, you know. A lot of days they won't eat the minnow and they'll eat this. Some days they'll eat both. Some days they won't eat this, they'll eat the minnow, but definitely have one of these baits on your deck this time of year if you want to catch fish and have fun.
Yeah, all about catching fish. Awesome. You actually had a triple last time, one of your recent trips with Alabama rig, didn't you?
Yeah, we were out here last Friday, and we had 4 doubles and 1 triple. So.
Awesome, guys. Hey, we'll put all of our information in the description on the rod, setup, and everything. Now let's get into the footage.
You know?
Yeah.
That's gonna be a good.
Let's back all these up.
Good jig spot.
Let's back. Yeah.
And the dude called me and told me that anybody. His first question.
Right, I just threw a group of them. There's another giant group. We're around a lot of fish right now, just so you know. They didn't want that sock shad. I just picked up the baby Z2. Come get it. These are all largemouth. They didn't want it. Then the first time I threw,
That may be a big one. He just destroyed it.
oh sweet! Oh, that wasn't. No way.
Go.
Ooh.
Got it.
Oh, it came off. Yours is not as big. Now they don't want the minnow.
Oh my God, Jimmy! I couldn't even feel him.
Catching the babies! Babies!
Ooh!
How'd you not get hammered?
Dude.
Look at this guy.
Yep. Blink.
That dude just threw me off too. How about I'm about to fire this hook. Fire. Got one.
Yes.
They going?
No.
Oh, baby. Okay.
I think they're all babies.
Oh, babies.
That's okay. I'm about to catch a double. Oh, look at this dude coming from down,
Here he
dude.
comes!
Better dude. The freaking little one got it. Good.
Color. Large mouth. How about that?
See, this lake when they were doing this,
Large mouth.
no credge.
got one of them come out. Oh yeah. That's a better spotted bass. Stay on there, buddy. Fall fishing. I love fall fishing. Yeah, good old spot. Good old Lake Ouachita spotted bass. Okay, guys, had some pretty cool footage for you right there. We wore the fish out later in the day. We went and checked a couple areas, actually made another video or two, and we weren't just catching big fish. And then after we got done kind of with the videos, it's like 12:15, 12:30, and I told Briar, hey, let's now go get the bag, put it together. And we ended up finding fish similar to this video and near this area doing the exact same thing. Uh-oh, sorry, my 10-month-old is in the boat with me, and she just grabbed the scissors. So, but near the main lake mouth of creeks kind of deal. I know like the deep dive app was on the front half of creeks, but we were pretty close to those creeks, kind of more main lake-ish front half. And so we ended up finding another area similar to this and wore them out. Had a good day. I think they just bit better in the day, the better fish. Because as you're seeing there in the footage, we were around some good fish, just the little ones were eating them. That's one thing on all my trips, and much I've been on the water, guys, there's just times where the better ones eat. You can watch the MLF. I think the MLF BPT every fish format shows how there are feeding windows in the day and how like it could just happen all of a sudden. You know, you have a period that's slow and they have that 2-pound minimum, and then all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. And that's kind of what's happened on our trips lately. So, guys, pretty cool. So let me know what you think about the crawl. This type of video, I got a couple more kind of out there, and Briar's going to be some other videos as well. But I can't just go show all those spots either, because it's spots I'm doing some of my guide trips on and lesson trips, and there's some stuff that, man, I think can win tournaments right now. And so, just, you know, it's just kind of part of what I got to do sometimes, definitely for that lake. So, guys, let's get in the fake juice segment real quick. And I kind of talked, was, you know, kind of something I hear a lot of people think it's like they say I'm not worthy, or why me in some scenarios, kind of with religion and like, and that's kind of goes everywhere. And, you know, I'm trying to be straightforward here, but something I like to share to people is how God can use you and how he uses anybody. And if you think you're not worthy of being used or you've messed up, don't fall down. Little girl, she's crawling up on the seats right now. And so one thing I always share with people is, and this is what's something interesting with Christianity compared to other religions, and I'm not like a doctor, a scholar of other religions by any means. I've looked into some, and not like me trying, but studying, reading, and just trying to look and see what other religions kind of say. But one thing about like ours is, you know, we have the Bible, and it wasn't written by God. It was written by people of the world. And when you get to the New Testament, right, you have people that wrote in the New Testament, and the majority of it was wrote by a guy named Paul, who was Saul. And Paul was the transformation from Saul. Well, originally this guy Saul killed people. He killed Christians. He was anti-Christianity, anti this Jesus guy. And then all of a sudden, here he is writing a lot of the books in the New Testament. And it's something pretty interesting to me. I like to share with people. If they don't think they're worthy of being used, or they're not good enough, or they've messed up too many times, just look at the Bible. We have a guy that wrote over half the New Testament who killed people. And that just goes to show how God can use you still. I'm off this thing. Go back up here. God can use you no matter what your situation is. And so I just want y'all guys to hear that. Like I said, you know, this is like, we could preach on this, or someone could preach on this for an hour, 2 hours, a week, a month, whatever. I'm just doing it right here in 2 minutes. So if you're in that stage of life where you're like, hey, I can't do it, you can be used in any way for a positive life of impact. Guys, we'll see you on the next one.